Today we have so many goodies to discuss, and we begin with some amazing news from earlier in the week. John Williams, the legendary composer, has decided not to retire after all. A few months ago he said he'd be retiring after Indiana Jones 5, but now he's changed his mind. During a recent event alongside Steven Spielberg promoting The Fabelmans, John Williams reversed course and announced he won't be retiring after all. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the composer was asked the question about packing it in, and he stunned everyone when he said the following: "Steven is a lot of things. He's a director, a producer, he's a studio head, he's a writer, he's a philanthropist, he's an educator. One thing he isn't is a man you can say no to. I've got 10 more years to go. I'll stick around for a while." He went on to say, "You can't retire from music. It's like breathing, it's your life. It's my life. A day without music is a mistake." So there you go, guys. John Williams is not retiring. So what does this mean for Star Wars? Well, we don't really know, but hopefully, just like he did for the Kenobi series, he does keep gracing the franchise with themes, or maybe even a whole score. He might do one of the upcoming films, maybe the one in 2025 by Lindelof. Let's wait and see and keep our fingers crossed. And so now, my dear friends, let's talk about the Ahsoka show. All of the rumors and reports from the last few months, including those from reliable sources like Bespin Bulletin and Making Star Wars, have all said that Lars Mikkelsen, who voiced Thrawn in Star Wars Rebels, is gonna play him in live action. That seems to be set in stone, with Making Star Wars even saying that those who stood next to Lars as Thrawn in blue were intimidated and mind-blown. He looked amazing in the role. Well, in a new interview, Lars Mikkelsen is doing what Liam Neeson did before the Kenobi show, denying any involvement. In a new interview with express.co.uk, Lars Mikkelsen said that while he's aware of what the internet is saying about him, he's not been offered the live-action role by Dave Filoni. When asked if he's aware of the ongoing fan campaign to have him play Thrawn in live action, he said that he is, but when he was asked if he would do it, he simply said, "Well, I haven't had the offer, but yes, sure." I would say don't believe him, guys. He's just playing coy. I think he definitely did get the role, just based on the reliable sources who've gotten things right in the past. Lars Mikkelsen, in his blue makeup and red eyes, was on the set of the Ahsoka show for multiple episodes, not just one brief appearance. He's going to be a significant presence. As we know from the leaks, and big spoiler warning, he is doing something beyond the unknown regions in what's being called the New Beyond. Here's what Carson Teva was talking about in the Mandalorian Season 3 trailer, that there is something big and dangerous coming to the galaxy. Now here's the thing, there is always the chance that Mikkelsen is just playing with us. Of course he would know at this stage. Liam Neeson played the same game with Qui-Gon Jinn in the Kenobi show, saying he's heard about it, but that he wasn't involved. Of course that was a lie because Qui-Gon Jinn's Force Ghost spoke with Obi-Wan at the end of Season 1. Actors always do this kind of thing. Now it should be said that the leakers might have got it wrong. I don't think so in this instance. I think a lot of these reliable sources got it right, but just to play devil's advocate, there were some contradictory reports. For example, Cinelinx's Jordan Mason said that it wasn't Lars Mikkelsen, that he was going to be approached, but that Disney changed their mind. But then Christopher Mark from The Playlist said it was Lars, and then Jordan Mason reverted to saying it is Lars as well. But the biggest players in the Scooper game do say it is Lars Mikkelsen, and I do think this might break very soon. I kind of feel as though right now it's early days. The Bad Batch is being promoted, obviously The Mandalorian Season 3, but we should get answers at Star Wars Celebration in London, and that of course is in April. The Ahsoka show is expected to release sometime in the summer, maybe the fall, but it is coming this year, and I reckon Ahsoka's going to be heavily promoted at Celebration. If you remember back in May at Anaheim, there was a Mandalorian panel. Well, I reckon there's going to be the same thing, but this time to hype and promote Ahsoka. Dave Filoni's going to be there, Bryce Dallas Howard, maybe Jon Favreau, some of the directors, but definitely Rosario Dawson, Natasha Liu, Emanis Fundi, and we should get Lars Mikkelsen if he is indeed Thrawn. In either case, I think that's going to be where we're going to get the big reveal of who is playing this absolutely iconic character. And Dave Filoni's the kind of guy who loves to reveal things, not plot details or anything like that, but definitely teasing and hyping this series. It's been a long time in the making, and this is going to be the climax of his work. My final word on this is that Lars is a perfect Thrawn. He's got the voice that we heard in Star Wars Rebels, that's a huge part of it, but as an amazing actor physically, he'd also do the role justice. What do you guys think? And so now guys, we're going to be talking about The Mandalorian Season 3, Yoda and Grogu. So on Monday we got the trailer for the upcoming third season, and there is a lot of anticipation and excitement for what's coming up. Din Djarin's journey for redemption on Mandalore, Bo-Katan still after the Darksaber, the armor Moff Gideon, maybe Thrawn. A lot of plot threads are developing. As for Grogu, there is still so much unknown. Now we know from the trailer he's still going to be wielding the Force, but as a Mandalorian foundling, he's probably going to get his first helmet. We know this from the celebration footage, and we also know he's going to be using a rebuilt IG-11 as a mecha. But there is something I've been dying to see in the show for a long time: Yoda's Force Ghost communicating with Grogu. Now following Order 66, when Grogu was hidden and his mind goes dark, he was cut off from the Force for many years, so he couldn't reach out to Yoda on Dagobah. But now that he's reconnected thanks to Luke and Ahsoka, I can't see why the two can't interact. Now we don't know for sure if Grogu is related to Yoda, but he certainly has heard of him. In chapter 13 of The Mandalorian Season 2, when Ahsoka said she's only known one like him, Yoda, Grogu turns to her quickly, as if he knows exactly who she's talking about, because he does. Even if the two are not related, we know that at the Jedi Temple on Coruscant, many masters trained Grogu over the years, and one of these would undoubtedly have been Jedi Master Yoda himself. To this day, my headcanon is that after Grogu reached out to Luke on Tython, Yoda's Force Ghost encouraged Luke to go after the child and train him in the ways of the Jedi. But now that Grogu's rejected that training in lieu of being with Mando, this creates a really interesting possibility. In Season 3 or maybe even Season 4 or another spin-off, Grogu might need counselling and advice. Him taking on a foundling identity while also being a Force user might confuse and overwhelm him. And even if that's his destiny, being the next Tar Vizsla, it's not an easy road ahead, and that would be a wonderful opportunity for Yoda's Force Ghost to intervene and reassure him, kind of just give him a push of motivation. It's an interaction I'm aching to see. Now I spoke with Jason at Making Star Wars about it, and he said it's probably not going to happen in Season 3 because Frank Oz didn't work on Star Wars in 2022, so maybe at a future date if they do decide that Yoda is relevant to the story in some way. Now given what the Ahsoka show is aiming to do, that would also be a fitting place to have Yoda's ghost appear. He appeared to Luke in Return of the Jedi and The Last Jedi, and Ahsoka in Star Wars Rebels, and now that Ahsoka and Luke know each other and they know about Anakin, Yoda and Obi-Wan as Force Ghosts chiming in could make a lot of sense. That'd be so awesome, a big moment for fan service. But going back to Grogu, he is one of 3 canon Yoda species we've seen on screen, and given they killed off Yaddle in Tales of the Jedi without giving us any indication of a Grogu connection, maybe they will connect him to Yoda. And given that Yoda escaped to Dagobah and Grogu was taken and cut himself off from the Force, Yoda probably assumed that Grogu died. But now that he's a Force ghost and Grogu is alive and well, I'd love for these two characters to interact. A really popular fan theory is that Grogu was a Yoda clone, but Kuil debunked this in Season 1 with his comment about the gene farms. Kuil commented that the child is not a product of genetic engineering, and he would know because when he was in indentured servitude to the Empire, he saw what they were doing. And here's a theory: could we see Kuil on Mount Tantis at the end of the Bad Batch Season 2? I think there are a lot of connections to be made. And so finally, my dear friends, a tidbit for the Ahsoka series. This is a huge year for David Tennant. Not only is he making his return to Doctor Who, but according to a new rumour, he's returning to voice the droid He-Yang, as he did in the Clone Wars, but this time in live action in the Ahsoka show. Let's see if this is true. We do see the droid in the Star Wars Celebration footage, and given the source of the rumour got things right for the Andor series, I think it's worth paying attention to. So with that said guys, that brings us to the end of today's Star Wars news update. If you enjoyed this one, please be sure to give me a big fat thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, and if you want more videos that you can't find here on YouTube while also getting your name at the end of my videos, then click the link down there in the description. But until the next one guys, may the Force be with you always.